4,000 weeks if we live until we're 80. That's roughly how many weeks we'll get. A sum that is, as the award-winning feature writer for The Guardian, Oliver Burkeman, puts it, absurdly, terrifyingly, insultingly short. And that's if you even make it to 80. But regardless of how many years you or anyone else has left in this world, we all share a problem. Our relationship with that time is, to put it simply, fraught. As Burkeman notes in his book, given the relatively short span of even the longest life, everyone's most pressing concern should be time management. He points out that arguably time management is all life is, and yet most of the literature related to time management is task-based, urging us to figure out the perfect productivity method or schedule for crashing out as many items on a to-do list as we possibly can. Even if and when those methods work, they still somehow leave us feeling overwhelmed and stressed, paddling frantically against a current whose strength we can never outmatch. Here are the top 7 lessons from Oliver Burkeman's 4,000 Weeks. Lesson 1. Know that our time is short. We're obsessed with our lengthening to-do lists and overfilled inboxes, haunted by the guilt that we ought to be getting more or different things done. As the gig economy has grown recently, busyness has been rebranded as hustle. Seeing relentless work not as a burden to be endured, but as an exhilarating lifestyle choice worth flexing about on social media. In reality, though, it's the same old problem. The pressure to fit the ever-increasing quantity of activities into a stubbornly non-increasing quantity of time. Or perhaps your problem isn't being too busy, but the opposite, languishing in a dull job, or not being employed at all. That is still a situation far more distressing by the shortness of life, because you're using up your limited time. Many other complaints that we have are essentially complaints about the limited time we have. Take the daily battle against online distraction as an example, and the alarming sense that our attention spans have shriveled. Lesson 2. Make a change in your time management approach. For years now, we've been inundated with advice on living a fully optimized life, in books with titles such as The 4-Hour Workweek and Extreme Productivity, and Smarter, Faster, Better, plus websites filled with life hacks for whittling seconds off everyday chores. There are numerous wearable devices and apps for maximizing the payoffs from your workouts, your work days, and even your sleep, plus meal replacement drinks to eliminate wasted time eating dinner. And the chief selling point of 1,000 other services and products, from online banking to kitchen appliances, is that they'll help you achieve the widely championed goal of doing the most out of your time. Lesson 3. Know the truth about time. The truth about time is that the more we struggle to control it, to make it conform to our agenda, the further it slips from our control. Consider all the technology intended to help us improve our time management. But instead, life accelerates, and everyone grows more impatient. It somehow feels more aggravating to wait 10 seconds for a slow-loading web page versus 3 days to receive the same information via mail, or 2 minutes for the microwave than 2 hours for the oven. And this feeling of wrongness is only exacerbated by our attempts to be more productive, which seems to have the effect of pushing the genuinely important things ever further over the horizon. Lesson 4. Embrace the limit. The real problem isn't our limited time, but rather it is that we've unwittingly inherited and feel pressured to live by, all of which are very much guaranteed to make things worse. Our troubled relationship with time originates largely from this same effort of avoiding the painful constraints of reality. And most of our strategies for becoming productive make things worse, because they're really just means of furthering the avoidance. So long as we continue to respond to impossible demands on our time by trying to persuade ourselves that we might one day find some way to do the impossible, we're implicitly collaborating with those demands. Whereas once we deeply grasp that they're impossible, we'll be newly empowered to resist them, and to focus instead on building the most meaningful life we can, in whatever situation we're in. Lesson 5. Notice the efficiency trap of technology. The worst aspect of the trap is that it's a matter of quality. You'll find yourself spending more of your time on the least meaningful things the more you struggle to fit everything in. Adopt a highly ambitious time management system that promises to take care of your entire to-do list, and you probably won't get around to the most important items on that list. Lesson 6. Become a better procrastinator. At any given moment, you might procrastinate on almost everything, and by the end of your life, you'll have gotten around to doing none of the things you theoretically could have accomplished. So the point isn't to get rid of procrastination, but to wisely choose what you're going to procrastinate on, in order to focus on what really matters. The real measure of a time management technique is if it helps you neglect the right things or not. Lesson 7. Accept that the future is uncontrollable. In reality, we never really get a single week, in the sense of being guaranteed that it will arrive, or that we'll be in a position to use it precisely as we wish. Instead, we just find ourselves in each moment as it comes, already thrown into this place and time, with all the limitations, and unable to feel a sense of certainty about what might happen next. Because the assumption that time is something we can control or possess is the unspoken premise of our collective thinking about the future, our goal setting and planning and worrying. In conclusion, the fundamental problem lies in the fact that none of the typical time management books you find in the self-help section addresses the grim fact of our mortality, ignoring it in favor of a can-do attitude. 4,000 Weeks is Burkeman's way of addressing this inadequacy. Are you troubled by the finite amount of time you have? Let us know in the comments section.
Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on my new content. You can also get a free copy of the audiobook by clicking the link in the description. Until next time.